Samoa. There are no National Guard, there are no active military. It's Army Reserve soldiers who are there on Samoa. Many of them are in the 100th Battalion of the 442nd Regiment, infantry, Gopher Grove. And they just came back from their second deployment in Iraq and got home just in time for a tsunami. And so we went out there to see them, my wife and I, and the spirit that they had. As we traveled around the island, and you see, and I told the governor, these are warriors. Now, in their tribal customs, they are warriors. That's their terminology. But I said they truly are warriors because although their homes were destroyed and everything, they're looking forward. And one story I'll tell you, we went down to the Pongo Bay area, and a young female NCO of mine was there waiting for us. She was standing in front of what used to be the shell of a house, of a room. And she said, "Sir, this was the second floor of my house. You see, when the wave started coming, I ran up to the second floor. The wave took away the first floor, and then I just floated down the street with this until it came to rest." But what she did is as soon as she, got her head together clear, she went through the rubble. She found an American flag, nailed it to a 2x4, and put it up. Spirit of America, that warrior spirit. And she said, I'm not worried about what I lost. I'm just worried about what's ahead. To get back on my feet. And that's what we've got across our military today. It really is. It's that warrior spirit of people who raise their hand and say, I want to serve and go do good things. This is a novel, but it's a story about a true American soldier who did great things in a country to stand it back on its feet, stand that town back on its feet. It's happening today over and over across America. So, thanks on behalf of the Army. We will find the right place to put this book. I've got an idea. I've got to talk to the Army. But I know where there's a new $300 million building going up in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We'll have a nice foyer area that would look very nice with this book displayed. So thanks on behalf of the soldiers of America.
I'd like to introduce Association Director Colonel John Geiger.
Thank you, Corinne. I really have a distinct pleasure tonight introducing our dinner speaker. And I don't often get to say this, in a retired mode. General Stoltz, General Morris, General Blackledge, General officers, I thank you for being here. And I'd like to introduce to you tonight a real treat of a speaker here. I just feel like that his reputation precedes him, and that's Dr. David Kilcullen. And currently he's a partner in the Crumpton Group, a Washington, D.C. strategic advisory firm, and he serves as a senior non-resident fellow at the Center for New American Security. Now, when I went to initially talk to the folks that work with Dr. Kilcullen, see if he could come and speak to us, I said, "Well, he need PowerPoint slides," and the answer was no, he doesn't need PowerPoint. However, if you were to take some of the things that he's done, you would need a PowerPoint presentation to really cover that. And I'm just going to kind of cover the high points here, and spare you the tyranny of PowerPoint. We talked a lot of things about certainly related to General Petraeus and the surge and the work that he's done in Iraq and in CENTCOM. And the key is you always find somebody who is the person that's behind that helps things and is a strategic whiz, I'll use the word, and that's Dr. Kilcullen. because he has been on the threshold of these big decisions throughout. He was a technical advisor and provided technical advice to Secretaries of State and Defense, the National Security Council, and he has become the renowned expert on counterterrorism and counterinsurgency, and particularly in Afghanistan and Iraq. When we see Dr. Kilcullen's work, he was the author of the Interagency Handbook for counterinsurgency. Okay, we know that this has been the Bible for the interagency effort, and believe me, getting the government agencies all together to look at this in one integrated approach is a major effort. He was part of the team that dealt with the surge, the successful surge in Iraq, and General Petraeus utilized him, and just an amazing point in the effort and to be a part of that. The field manual FM 3-24 counterinsurgency, the Army and the Marine Corps. We have an author and helped design and part of the writing team. So we're talking somebody who is strategically advisor and a doctrine provider, and also how did he get that way? That it just didn't come in the overnight here. It comes from many years of serving in the AO, the area of operation, and working with in the budget wars in the Pentagon, in the counterinsurgency, and also the real wars in the AO. He was a Marine Corps officer in Australia, he was an infantry officer for 22 years. So that provided a hoo-ha at our table anyway. And there seems to be this infantry theme that comes up, and so right away we could talk with him, and he had spent deployments in Indonesia, East Timor, and New Guinea and Bougainville. He's a fellow of the Royal Geographical Society, a recipient of the Army Superior Civilian Service Medal, not a very common thing for an individual, and he is the author of The Accidental Gorilla, a spellbinding book that he didn't bring a stack of them with him, but you can certainly get them at Amazon.com pretty quick. And if you haven't read it and don't have it in your library, you should. It's a detailed study that analyzes the complex interplay between the local guerrillas and the international terrorists. So without any further delay here, I wish to have Dr. David Kilcullen, and we're delighted to have you here tonight. Yes, sir.